Okay, back online. See if Catherine wants to work. Please, please work. Oh, that time it just straight up said, nope, we're crashing. Cool. What the fuck? Okay, come on, Obs. Capture. Uh-oh.
Catherine!
It's capturing the audio. Oh. Yeah. Game. Did it fix it?
Enjoy our story by taking control of our...
Yep.
Start
Yep.
the story from the beginning.
Yep.
Now, grab a snack
Yep.
and enjoy the strange tale of Catherine.
Yep. I hope all your digits are cross chat. Mine are. You're seeing exactly what I'm seeing, unfortunately. That sucks. Is anything gonna change in the matter of a few moments? Anything at all? That's a no. Okay. Now we have to do the whole thing of closing it out manually with the task manager because it doesn't want to do it on its own. That's really unfortunate. Okay, then let's pivot. Uninstall since you're gonna be a little bitch boy and don't want to work. And we'll just open it up some space on my computer. Yeah. Yeah. That's what's gonna happen. You know what? Fuck it. We'll play 428 Shibuya Scramble. Let me update my stream info really quick. 428 Shibuya Scramble. Yeah. No, I want to select all and delete. And Twin Peaks in a Spike Chunsoft game. Yeah. And done. Okay. Let's hope that a FMV visual novel is enough for my computer to fucking handle streaming. Shall we? Can't believe this shit. And yes, this is indeed a Spike Chunsoft game. Okay. Let's go on ahead and just load a game, or a new game. Okay, the spacebar is... I started this game way back when, and I don't remember any of it. Like, obviously, I only played like 26 minutes of this, so I don't remember much. I think I uploaded it on my channel. But yeah, I don't remember. Yeah. The story is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents either are products of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, or real events are completely coincidental. Oh, sorry, Takuji Oyama. Sorry, let me. I'll just get out of the way for the time being of the credit sequence. Of course, I make myself go away when I'm not even blocking any of them. Oh, we're about. Oh, yep. Okay, I got you, Kanoko Nasu. And I'm back. Am I gonna block anyone? Yeah, I got it. Oh. Gotta give sound production its credit. Oh, that one I'm like just barely. Is that a blimp? That's a big blimp.
新宿区オフィスビル立てこもり事件の速報です。今朝、新宿6丁目のオフィスビルに目出し帽をかぶった40歳前後とみられる男が従業員数人を人質に取り立てこもりました。その後、数時間経った今も男は会社員の話によりますと、立てこもっている男は北島という男である可能性が高いとのことです。その男は以前からこのビル内のある企業との仕事上の取引があり、金銭上のトラブルが絶えなかったということです。今回の立てこもりはそのトラブルに端を発したものではないかと見方が強まっています。
Oh. That's not good. Yikes. Shibuya's story is yours to tell. Okay. As you play through the game, the various mechanics will be explained. In 428, you follow the stories of multiple protagonists at once. Your decisions impact their experiences as you read the story. What does the day hold in store? Their fate is in your hands. Hopefully, you can see them all through to the end. To start, you have two characters, Shinya Kano and Achi Endo. Let's begin by checking out Kano's story. Okay. God, I love FMVs. Oh, just 2 more minutes to go. Shinya Kano noted the time again on his watch, scowling at the slow creep of the second hand. The time was 9:58 a.m. Furrows of consternation creased his forehead. He wasn't nervous, but he knew better than to expect everything to go smoothly. Keeping a level head was proving rather difficult. There was no room for failure. Lives were on the line here. Dun dun dun! He eyed his surroundings. Was the perp really going to show up? When? Where would he be coming from? How would he make his approach? The Shibuya Scramble was as packed as ever. A throng of people crossing this way and that, blissfully unaware of the dozens of detectives hidden in its midst. All right, another minute and a half. Kano glanced down at his watch yet again. A mere 30 seconds had passed. Detective Kano had been with the enforcement arm of Shibuya's criminal affairs section for a year now, but he'd never been part of an operation this big before. He eyed the young woman standing beside the statue up ahead. She was small enough to get lost in the crowd, and she carried a nondescript attaché case. Hitomi Osawa, age 19. The attaché case in her hands contained a full 50 million yen in cash. Yesterday, her twin sister Maria had been kidnapped. This was the ransom payment. The culprit had called Hitomi last night at home, referring to her by name and telling her to wait by the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya. It was almost time, but nothing. Kano was staring fixedly at the second hand on his watch when a homeless man sitting on the sidewalk murmured just loud enough for him to hear. Come on, Kano. Quit looking at your watch so much. What if the kidnapper sees you? Kano tried to look nonchalant as he lifted his eyes, but the scruffy character continued. You're too nervous. Just relax already. You're the one acting suspicious, Sasayama. Kano frowned. Why would some homeless guy be talking to me? Yuji Sasayama was was a senior officer of the Shibuya Precinct's Criminal Affairs Division, 5 years older than Kano. Some words and phrases in the text appear in blue. These are called tips. Press tab to underline tip and then press space This will let you read some extra info relating to the word or phrase. There are tips containing general knowledge and ones that are 428 specific. These are marked with a magnifying glass and a 428 respectively. Alright. Oh, that's a lot of words. Official name, Shibuya Central Precinct. Responsible for the safety of approximately 200,000 people in 32 neighborhoods, including Uehara. Oh. I don't even want to try to butcher that. Uguisi Danicho? Oh god, that's so bad. Udagawacho, Ebisu, Ebisu Nishi, Ebisu Minami, Oyamacho, Kamiyamacho, Sakura Gaukacho. Oh my god, this is so bad. Sasa Suzuko. Oh my. Why did I choose a reading game? Why? Oh. They cover all these things. He always went a little overboard with the disguises. He claimed it was all part of the job, but word around the station was that he just liked playing dress up. Hey pal, spare some change? Sasayama lurked to his feet and shuffled in close to Kano. Hey, knock that off. Fittingly for the part, Sasayama reeked pretty badly. Well, ain't so suspicious now, huh? He clung to Kano with mock camaraderie, despite the younger man's attempts to pull away. Come on, Sasayama, cut it out! Sasayama's blithe confidence rattled Kano's nerves. Of course, there was good reason for that confidence. This was Kano and Sasayama's jurisdiction, but they were positioned a good distance from where the handoff was to take place. The statue of Hachiko was surrounded by elite investigators from one of HQ's special investigation teams. Sometimes fewer and more chips will appear on the screen. Press tab and then repeatedly to change words that are underlined. Highlight the tip. If you wish to read, then press space. Continue pressing tab or press escape to return to reading the story. Okay, cool. I'm not going to read all of these, unfortunately. I'm sorry. You have to play the game for yourself if you want to read all of them. Also, if you don't know about the statue of Hachiko, it's really sad. So, you should look it up. Kano and his partner were just there to provide backup if the kidnapper attempted to flee. Look, just try to relax. We'll be fine. Sasayama gave him a wink. A moment later, the radio squawked in Kano's ear. All right, everyone. It's time. Keep your eyes open. Oh. I'm sorry. The way that they're positioned is like Charlie's Angels. I love it. The voice coming in through the earpiece was Koji Kuze, HQ's operations director. Until last year, he'd been the Shibuya precinct's head detective and Kano's supervisor. We don't know when the perp is going to make contact. Don't let your guard down. Kuze's low, gravelly voice echoed in Kano's ear. You don't sound too worried, Kuze. Kano winced at Sasayama's words. How could the man be so nonchalant? The appointed time had come and gone. Something should be happening. Whack! Kano smacked himself in the thigh to release a little tension. The sound was louder than he'd intended. Though the suit hid his muscular physique, it did little to dampen the noise. He needed to stay focused. He might be called to action at any moment. The department handled abduction cases according to a certain standard investigation procedure. Was it an attempt to extort money, or was the motive something personal? The answer to that question determined how they deal with the criminal. And based on the investigation team's initial findings this time around, they probably weren't dealing with a professional kidnapper. Still, in all likelihood, it was someone with quite a long rap sheet. Probably someone who knew the family, but so far they had few leads on who might bear such a grudge. With the situation so unclear, the plan was to apprehend whoever came to make the handoff on site. It's on site. If the culprit ran with the money, There'd be no guarantee of the hostage's well-being. Still nothing. Sasayama muttered. There he is! He's here! Kuze broke in, his voice spiking into an excited chirp. Subject is a young male in his 20s, wearing a bandana and an orange hoodie. Kuze, normally calm and stoic, was now squawking like an excited child. That only happened when he got particularly worked up. Kano and Sasayama steeled themselves. I almost said squealed themselves. They could see the subject now. A 20-something male nonchalantly approached Hitomi to talk to her. All right, people. Be ready to grab this guy. Kuze was stationed in the mobile command center, not far from the intersection, keeping tabs on the situation via video surveillance from the camera team. What is that face, girl? The young man started speaking enthusiastically to Hitomi. Oh my goodness, I got really bad hiccups out of nowhere. The detectives watched uncertain. Was this really the kidnapper? You'll encounter selections like this during the story. These choices will change the lives of other people in addition to changing your own fate. Use up or down to make your choice, then press space. The current choice will not impact you or any of the other protagonists. This guy looks like he's just passing out flyers, so we're gonna just go with B. The situation still wasn't entirely clear. He needed to get a better look at things. The newcomer held a bundle of letter-sized paper, which he showed to Hitomi as he went on talking. He tried to hand her one of the papers, but she pointedly ignored him. Undeterred, the man kept trying to foist it off on her. Hitomi refused to respond, becoming as motionless as the statue of Hachiko behind her. Until finally, the man gave up and walked away. Yep, figured. What is that face? Sir? Guess it wasn't him. Kano felt the tension of the moment linger in his spine. Guy must have been hitting on her, Sasayama muttered. I mean, she is pretty cute and all. He had a point. Ooh. Though, of course, something in Sasayama's voice made Kano brace himself. She's got nothing on my Michan. Oh yeah. Michan was Sasayama's wife. They'd gotten married just last month. I love his face. Let me tell you, Kano, married life is the best. Oh, you know when you have that friend that just got married and they're just like, they're really excited about it. Yeah. And then you have your chronically single friend. Yeah. I see that happening here. You gotta hurry up and give it a try for yourself. This was Sasayama's favorite topic lately, and Kano was getting more and more fed up with it. Sasayama, come on, just knock it off, okay? The phrase had become a common refrain of his since the department partnered them. Fine, fine. Let's talk about your girlfriend then. Ooh, he didn't like that. Huh? Now? You can't be serious. Sasayama leaned in close again. What's she like? We are not having this conversation. Kano muttered, looking away. Aw, come on. These faces are killing me. Sasayama set his hand on Kano's chest, still playing the homeless troublemaker. Show me your phone. Let me see your lock screen. Huh? Sasayama pawed for the phone. You've got a pic of your girlfriend on your lock screen, yeah? I do not. But he did. It was scary on how the mark Sasayama's instincts were. Hey, cut it out. We're in the middle of an investigation. I am investigating, Sasayama chuckled as he plucked the phone from Kano's pocket. His face scrunched up with astonishment as he looked at the lock screen. The heck is this? It's not... Ain't this Masami Nagahama? Kano realized he had to bite the bullet. No, that's my girlfriend. Her name's Rumi and she's... Sasayama cut him off. You're telling me this ain't Masami Nagahama, the famous actress? Because this right here is Masami Nagahama. Like I said, you sly old dog. Trying to make like you're dating Masami Nagahama. I'm not. I mean, I guess Rumi does kind of look like her. Sasayama let out a huff. For real? You really think I'm gonna fall for that? There's nothing to fall for, I swear. Sasayama scowled, unconvinced. Alright then. Then why don't you marry her? Kano stammered, but he had no answer. The truth was, he would have happily married her already. But there were obstacles that needed to be overcome. Okay, playtime's over. Let's focus on the job. Sasayama handed back Kano's phone and turned his gaze back to Hitomi. Kano let out a quick, uneasy sigh. But his shoulders did feel looser. Maybe Sasayama had been trying to relieve a bit of the tension. Maybe he should be grateful. Yeah, be grateful. By now, several minutes had passed since the guy with the papers had gone away. He peered at Hitomi. The strain on her face was visible. In addition to the weight of the attaché case itself, the 5,000, 10,000 yen bills it held weighed close to 6 kilos. Whew. Her slender arms must have been getting tired. Still, she refused to set the case down. She wasn't taking any chances with her sister's life. The kidnapping case had begun the day before at around 7 p.m. Ooh, we're getting some music. This is MPD Dispatch. The Shibuya precinct is reporting a missing person, believed to be an abduction. Subject is Maria Osawa, a 19-year-old student at Midoriyama Academy, last seen at the LL Diner near campus. Oh, the LL Diner. Okay, if you're not picking up on the Twin Peaks vibes already, I'm sorry. Get good. A man was allegedly seen forcing her into a car nearby. All officers in the vicinity report to the scene at once. Kano and Sasayama had been working a burglary case in Jingumei's 5th district when they got the call. The two arrived at the LL Diner at 7:15 p.m. At roughly the same time, several other officers showed up to secure the area, blocking off entry to nearby roadways and monitoring the surrounding establishments. Inside the restaurant, Kano and Sasayama were met by the girl who'd reported the kidnapping. It was the victim's twin sister, Hitomi. Could you tell us about when Maria was taken, starting from the very beginning? Kano said, keeping his voice low. My sister and I, we were supposed to go to a party together today. Hitomi was trembling, her voice hoarse. But I messed up the time. I showed up right at 7, an hour later than I was supposed to. So Maria had gone alone to the party, a mixer for locals and exchange students. Hitomi, arriving late, had showed up just in time to glance out through the restaurant window and see her sister getting shoved into a car. She described the vehicle as a blue station wagon of Japanese make. Why? Why would something like this happen to her? Hitomi held back her tears, but she was shaking all over. Did you get a look at the kidnapper? Yes, it was a man, middle-aged. There was another eyewitness, Leland Palmer. If you know Twin Peaks, the girl who dies at the very beginning that everybody knows is Laura Palmer. Leland Palmer is actually the name of her dad. So this is hilarious. If you haven't watched Twin Peaks, you just gotta. He identified himself as a lecturer at Hitomi and Maria's school. I saw too. It's like Hitomi says. I heard Hitomi cry out, and so I went to the window to look. And his Japanese was halting, as if he hadn't been in the country very long. And I think that maybe the kidnapper was working alone. Leland explained that he'd seen the man shove Maria into the back seat, then clamber into the driver's seat. If he had an accomplice, wouldn't they have been driving? Neither Hitomi nor Leland had gotten a look at the suspect's face. Kano was interviewing others who had been on the scene, looking for other potential witnesses when his phone rang. It was Yoshio Kajiwara, one of the senior detectives. We've set up a task force for the investigation. Get back to the station once you have a handle on the situation there. Barely half an hour had passed between the time the kidnapping was reported and the time the task force began operation. When Kano and Sasayama got back to the precinct station, Kuze had already arrived from HQ. He informed them that a response team had been formed to investigate the victim's home. Kano could feel a peculiar tension in the air. Unfamiliar MPD detectives scurried to and fro around the Shibuya offices. He pulled one of them aside to get a quick update. An hour had now passed since the kidnapping. There had been one new development. The perpetrator had made a threatening call to the victim's home. He said the following: tomorrow, 10 a.m., by Hachiko in Shibuya. Have the sister, Hitomi, bring 50 million yen. If not, the girl's life is forfeit. Kajiwara from the precinct was put on the response team along with the detectives from elsewhere who'd received special training in abduction cases. Normally, a local precinct detective wouldn't have gone undercover in a victim's home. Kuze, however, had decided that having a knowledgeable local was crucial, and he'd sent Kajiwara along. The detectives disguised themselves as delivery people and movers to make their way inside without arousing suspicion. Arriving there at 8:30. The response team had come prepared to run a trace if the kidnapper contacted the family a second time. But there were no further calls. It's like he knew that they would try and set up the tap the second time around. Which, like, I believe this is supposed to be taking place in the 90s, if I remember correctly. So, like, you gotta kind of, like, not factor in modern technology of, like, everybody has a smartphone and everybody has access to the internet at the touch of a finger. Like, this is not where we're at right now. Okay. Kano checked his watch again. 20 minutes had now passed since the time designated for the ransom handoff. The kidnapper had yet to appear. Crap. You think we might have spooked him? He wondered out loud. Hey, stay calm. Sasayama scanned the passing throng. He's just playing with us. Why'd this guy even pick this place? Kano voiced the question he'd been asking himself ever since he'd heard the kidnapper's demands. Sasayama shrugged. Figure he must want to blend in with the crowd, nab the money, and disappear before anyone knows he's there would be my guess. In any case, why not pick Shinjuku or Ginza? The big crowd didn't just benefit the kidnapper after all. It also allowed the police to use a sea of people to conceal their own operation. Right now, there were 50 detectives stationed within a 50-meter radius of where Hitomi stood. The kidnapper would be taking a major risk if his plan was to nab the ransom money and run. That's what bothered Kano. Any criminal with half a brain would know better than to do a handoff in front of Hachiko. You're overthinking things, pal, Sasayama grumbled. No, I'm not. Kano reached into his pocket and pulled out his notepad. This was Kano's dick diary, which he always kept close at hand. Sasayama rolled his eyes. That thing again? Kano ignored him, flipping through the notepad pages. Aha! Here it is. Dictum number 89. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. What? I want to stay on this screen so that it becomes a stream thumbnail. So give me a second. Oh, dictum. That's incredible. Okay, do you think we've been on it for long enough? I'm genuinely curious. Yes, I haven't on it long enough. Yes. Amazing. I love it. Did I mention I love it? Because I love it. Okay. Dictum number 89. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. It was a favorite saying of Kyozo Tatano, an assistant inspector from the Shibuya precinct. And Tatano was the kind of detective Kano aspired to be. For the current operation, he'd been placed in charge of Hitomi's personal safety. Sorry, guys. He was in position to defend her as soon as a ransom had been handed off. Of course, Hitomi hadn't been informed of how much protection she was under. There was a risk that if she acted too secure, it might alert the kidnapper. I think Tatano has the right idea. Sasayama snorted quietly. Maybe. I mean, he's a great detective. Don't get me wrong. But do you know how many irrelevant things there are to consider? Again, Kano ignored him. It didn't matter if nobody else understood. Kano had faith in Tatano as both a detective and as an individual. He had first witnessed Tatano's brilliance during a standoff at a financial company 3 years earlier. A man had shut himself in an office, splashing gasoline everywhere and threatening to set the place ablaze. While the others hesitated, Tatano unflinchingly doused himself with gasoline and strode into the building, where he managed to talk the man down and secure the scene. Damn, that's insane. Like, that could have gone south way fast or up in smoke. The others had been awestruck by Tatano's actions, and Kano, who at the time had been content but to be a run-of-the-mill policeman, had found it quite inspiring. Yeah, I believe it. Still, you know. Sasayama murmured under his breath. As great a detective as Tatano is, it's not like anyone else in the world has ever heard of him. I suppose not, Kano said. So? Only time anyone ever hears a cop's name is if he's caught up in some scandal or killed in the line of duty. Ooh, that's true. I mean, doesn't really seem fair, does it? Kano just shrugged. It was a strange definition of unfair, really. I mean, you've got celebrity chefs and celebrity hairdressers and stuff. So how come no celebrity gumshoes, you know? Many a reason, my good sir. Look, please. Can you just focus on what we're doing here? Kano rubbed his eyes and turned his attention back to Hitomi. What's the matter? Didn't sleep? Not enough, I guess. Did you eat? Didn't have time. Between bringing in supplies for the base of operations, readying the team's vehicles, photocopying hundreds of documents, and various other tasks, Kano had barely slept the previous night and hadn't gotten a meal in either. What have you been doing? Sasayama puffed out his chest. Saving up my energy for today. So you were sleeping. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There he is! Kuze's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. A man in his 20s wearing a sleeveless red jacket. He's carrying a garbage bag. A young man had emerged from the crowd, about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He strode toward her, a sinister look on his face. I mean, the sinister look on his shirt? Yeah, I see it. He didn't match Hitomi's description, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper had hired some young street punk to snatch the ransom payment. That our guy? What do you think, Kano? Sasayama whispered. Yeah, I think he's gotta be. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready to act fast. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Could this be the culprit? Or perhaps... The young man tried to snatch the briefcase from Hitomi, but she clung to it with desperate strength. It was him! The detectives rushed in. Whoa, hey, what the hell? The young man cried out frantically and tried to dart away, but the officers closed in, forcing him bodily to the ground. Target secured. Oh, jeez. I think we've got another suspect on the scene. Eek! He's taken the ransom! Kuze's hysterics made Kano spin around. Sure enough, a foreign-looking man was sprinting away, attaché case in hand. The mob of detectives scrambled to pursue. Before Kano could react, most of them had ran off, leaving him to look after the original suspect. Also, sorry, it's feeding time for the dogs, so they're a little feral. What is this pose? He's like, hey, what should I do with this guy? Yeah, like what you see? Yeah, what you like it? Do you like it? Did you like it? What should I do with this guy, sir? He might have some connection to the kidnapper. Should I bring him in? Huh? Oh, sure, that'd be swell. I'm on it. With the help of one of the remaining detectives, Kano brought the suspect back to the Shibuya precinct. Oh, he does not look happy. Look, how many times do we have to go through this? Cut the crap. In the interrogation room, the young man who gave his name as Achi Endo steadfastly insisted on his innocence. Ah, this is the other guy that we can play as later. Fun. Why'd you try to steal that case? Kono watched Achi's face intently. Like I said, it looked heavy, so I was just trying to help her out. Sure, that's the face of an innocent man. For sure. Not. It wasn't inconceivable that a young guy would want to help a pretty girl. But Hitomi had just been standing there, hardly in desperate need of assistance. She hadn't set the case down, so I figured there had to be something important inside. An entry from Kono's dick diary shot through his mind. Dick dictum number 25. When the tongue slips, grab it and yank out the truth. Classic advice for a questioning. Dick dictum is ridiculous. Something important, you say? Such as? How the heck would I know? Achi spat. He huffed and slumped back in his chair. This standard textbook back and forth had been going on for nearly an hour. Chasing down criminals was all well and good, but questioning suspects was another key part of the job. Plenty of off-the-scene work went into cracking a case. Once again, he had Achi explain what he'd been doing, starting from the beginning. When Kono finally emerged from the interrogation room for a short break, he learned that there had been some progress on the case at the crime scene. What the police hadn't been able to determine yet, however, was whether or not Maria was safe. Fighting back his anxiety, Kono consulted his dick diary. This motherfucker and his dick diary. I can't. Dick dictum number 54. Haste makes waste. He felt his tension subside, remembering the right maxim always helped. It was like casting a magic spell. Kono returned to confront Achi once more. You were there to act as a distraction, to mess up the investigation. Weren't you? Huh? Achi looked a bit dumbfounded. What are you on about? Dick dictum number 55. The truth hungers to be free. You hungry? Got some katsudon if you like. Katsudon is delicious. Achi nodded silently. Achi devoured the bowl of katsudon with gusto. He looked like he hadn't eaten in a while. Alright then, spill it. What's this guy after? Achi just shrugged. I don't know, he murmured, a thick slice of egg-laden pork between his teeth. I want to be inside of this bowl. Hold on. I can actually, hold on. Hold on. Nope, not that one. Nope. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah. Can I spin it? Oh, nope, not that one. Nom 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 nom. Up. 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 Okay. Let me just. Let's just go back to where were we? Oh shit! Now I gotta fix all this fucking shit. Oh no oh no. Oh, and then oh no and oh no oh yeah, that's so smart. Yeah. Wahoo. Okay. Back to getting this guy to spill the beans. How many accomplices do you have? Kano asked. But Achi just shook his head as he inhaled his food. Resignedly, Kano flipped through his notebook once more. Let's see. Number 115. Use the lights to your advantage. As the minutes ticked past, he found himself referring to his book again and again, trying a dozen different methods to tease out whatever his suspect might be hiding. The experience began to feel strangely surreal, their two voices echoing hollowly in the interrogation room. Eventually, Kano looked at the clock and realized that the questioning had been going on for nearly 5 hours. He still hadn't made any headway. What was he supposed to do next? Oh god, excuse me. Tatano would know, but he sure didn't. Still, he was determined to do whatever he could to keep the victim and her family safe. Gritting his teeth in frustration, he perused the Dick Diary like it was scripture. Number 116. The monotonous questioning was clearly tiring Achi out. His eyelids drooped like they were beginning to get heavy. Or maybe he had some good zaza. I don't know. Actually, they're in Japan. There's no way. Number 117. Get them when they're tired. Kano's eyes gleamed. You're part of some criminal gang, huh? Achi's head slumped forward heavily. Nodding off was basically the same as nodding yes, right? Oh. No! That's crazy, dude! What? Mr. Kuze, I did it! The young guy we grabbed off at the handoff site, he finally confessed to the crime. Oh, that's rough. That's so rough, dude. What? What are you talking about? Kuze laughed in disbelief. We're just about to apprehend the mastermind here. Huh? Kano clutched his cell phone, dumbstruck. Listen, why don't you, look, just wait there at HQ, okay? No, it can't be. Oh, what? After the kidnapping case wrapped up, Kano tendered his resignation. Guess I'm not cut out to be a detective after all, he thought to himself. He dropped the Dick Diary on his desk as he left the Shibuya precinct for the last time. What? 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 I mean, maybe one or two choices. What? Kano wound up at a bad end. However, this does not mean that the choice you made for Kano was the wrong one. Oh. Oh, fuck, okay. Jesus. Like, I was like, did I really fuck it up that badly? One of the other protagonists, Achi Endo, has an impact on Kano's fate here. You can avoid a bad end by making proper decisions in another character's story. But for a detailed hint, check the tip by underlining the bad end title. Press tab, then space. Okay. Kano had every reason to suspect Achi Endo, but arresting him turned out to be a mistake. If Achi had an approach to Tomi, this wouldn't have happened. Try playing Achi's story up to 10:30 and make a choice that keeps him from going up to her. If you do that, Kano won't even have a chance to arrest him, and things should play out differently. How cool. Okay. All right. So okay. Escape out of this. And let's go to Achi. Yep, we can now select Achi Endo, one of the other protagonists. Let's follow Achi's story for a while. Oh. Hello, handsome. Achi Endo called out at the door to his father's room. Okay, I'm heading out. Sure. His father sounded unconcerned. He didn't even open the door. Sure you don't want me to stay here in the shop? It's not like we're gonna get any customers. Achi grimaced. Yeah, I guess not. The drawer by the front door held a stack of heavy-duty trash bags. Achi pulled a few of them out. Guess it's gonna be that kind of day. He stuffed the trash bags into his pocket, then slipped in on his favorite pair of sneakers. The entryway to Achi's home also led into the family shop. Various pieces of electronics were piled up like so much junk in the tiny retail space. The slightest bump brought the risk of an avalanche. Achi wove his way through the gaps in the appliances like a spelunker exploring a cave. From Shibuya Station, if you make your way past the 109 building, then up through Dogenzaka, you'll come across an old shopping district. Nestled in its outskirts is Endo Electronics, in the same place it's been for decades. Within its dimly lit interior, you'll find rows of wares all caked in dust. At a glance, you might well assume the place was closed. A mom-and-pop place like Endo's couldn't compete with the big consumer chains booming throughout Shibuya. So far, the store had remained in business, thanks to the locals who appreciated that they made house calls to do repairs. But things weren't looking good for the future. Achi, the eldest son and nominal successor to the business, had no interest whatsoever in working there. Achi stepped out of the shop and into the sunny morning air. The good weather lifted his spirits. Alrighty, time to do this. He unfurled one of the big garbage bags, which caught the wind and fluttered like a cape. Then he slowly made his way toward Shibuya Station, scanning his surroundings all the while. Sheesh, this place is filthy. He paused to pick up a plastic bottle that had been tossed on the ground. Then, with a heavy sigh, he slipped the crushed receptacle into his bag. He'd been picking up trash around town like this for about 6 months now. It had gotten so that the sort of garbage most people would hardly notice stood out to him like a sore thumb. Most days, he'd fill his trash bag to the top by the time he made it from his house to Dogenzaka to the train station. Today, he was halfway to the station when a woman's anxious voice caught his attention. "I'm sorry. I'm in a bit of a hurry here." He looked up and saw a timid-looking woman being confronted by two men, one with brown hair, one with black. From the look of them, he guessed that the men were scouts for some hostess club. He ran into this sort of thing pretty frequently on his trash cleaning walks around town. Another kind of trash to take care of. Achi quickly interposed himself between the girl and the two recruiters. "Hey, can't you see that you're bothering her?" "Huh? Who the hell are you?" the two men glared. "Take a hike, pal." Achi stood his ground. "Look, she ain't interested. You're just gonna have to find some other mark." The hustler's annoyance turned to open rage. Well, listen to you. Got a bit of a mouth, huh, buddy?" The brown-haired thug smacked his lips around his chewing gum like a dog worrying a bone. "How about we take this someplace more quiet, yeah?" "Oh, what?" "Oh, interesting." The girl stood by uneasily, watching the goings-on. "Hey, take it easy. I'm not looking for trouble." "Is that supposed to be an apology?" "On your knees and beg, pal." The man spat his gum onto the ground. Ew. Ew! Achi looked down at the glistening wad of gum on the sidewalk. His last shred of goodwill vanished. "You better pick that up. Right now." "What? Didn't you hear me? As I told you to get back on your knees and... back!" Aji's hand shot out, grabbing the man by the jaw. Whoa, easy, pal!" The other man's bravado drained from his face. Oh. That was a sound. Hold on. There we go. I wanted the shock to register. Ah! Aji tightened his grip on the brown-haired hustler's jaw. Oh, click slash remaining to activate the autoplay. I don't want that. I don't want autoplay. No. We aren't doing autoplay. No. Got it. I don't want autoplay. Okay, cool. No autoplay. Thank you. Achi tightened his grip on the brown-haired hustler's jaw. Sweat dripped from the man's reddening brow. The man struggled, but Achi just tightened his grip. Gum's a real pain in the ass to clean up after it's gotten stuck to the street, you know. Ever stop to consider that? Wait, are you... The other hustler's panicked eyes had fixed on Achi's chest. Gah! Oh, crap! That's sure, man. The guy's voice was starting to break. That's mean clean. Oh my god. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. That is ridiculous. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. That's mean clean. A guy with a mean clean shirt carrying around a trash bag? That means you're... His face went pale. What? Mean cream? The other man echoed the words through his held shut jaw, tears welling up in his eyes. Get it right, pal. Achi clenched the man's jaw harder still. It's mean clean. Ow, 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 ow. We're sorry, man. You're Achi, right? Dude, we honestly had no idea. Come on, man, you gotta cut us some slack. The man scrambled to snatch the wad of gum off the street, stuffing it into his pants pocket. Ugh. Finally, Achi let go of his companion. The brown-haired hustler's face was twisted up with fear. Tears streamed down his cheeks. Gasping out hasty apologies, the two thugs scampered off. Hey, so... A shy smile came to the girl's face. Oh, we actually get backstory on her? Okay. Ryoko Kakinuma, a second-year student at Midoriyama Academy's law school. Oh, so she goes to school with Maria and Hitomi. These hustlers managed to corner her while she was on her way to her part-time job at a cafe. It's a popular plot in trashy e-novels for the main character to fall in love with a hustler like these guys, but such things rarely happen in real life. Very true. Okay, while we're on this baller music, I am going to refill my drink really quick. Give me 2 seconds. I will be very right back. Okay. Let me just park it. Okay. Whew. Much better. Okay. Space. Thank you for saving me. No, I apologize. Huh? The girl stared in surprise. You'll run into creeps like that now and then, but don't hold it against us. Shibuya's a good town. Yeah, okay. Achi gave her a quick wave, then turned and continued on his way down Dogenzaka. Achi was Shibuya born and raised. He was keenly aware of all the changes the ward had seen since he was a kid. Grocers' stalls and inconspicuous little side streets, tiny parks nestled between buildings. Achi knew it all, knew it all like the back of his hand. Oh. There we go. Trash, human or otherwise, had no place in this town. Not on his watch. Achi made his way down towards Shibuya Station. Oh, look at this FMV! Oh, as I say it, it pauses. Throngs of people shuffled to and fro across the scramble. The view shifted constantly from one moment to the next, almost as if the city itself were alive. And if the city was a living thing, then Shibuya Station was its heart. The streets like Bukamura Dori and Sentergai serving as the arteries pumping a bloodstream made of people. Today as ever, the heart was pumping that blood to every nook and cranny of Shibuya. And there was Achi, just another part of this great urban organism. Ooh, what a shot. Guess I'm one of the city's white blood cells. Or wait, maybe I'm a red blood cell? No, I think white blood cell's correct, sir. Because red blood cells carry nutrients and oxygen throughout the body, while the white blood cells clean it up. Hold on. Is that right? Or did I have it right the first time? I told you! I told you! I told you! I'm right! White blood cells eliminate pathogens from the bloodstream. Red blood cells carry oxygen throughout the body. Achi was probably thinking of white blood cells. Don't second guess yourself, King. You were right. Emerging from his reverie, he noticed a rather conspicuous young woman standing by the statue of Hachiko outside Shibuya Station. Oh, she's totally my type. Oh shit. What is your type? Oh. Okay. Wonder if she's a model or some small-time actress or something. Looks like she's waiting for someone. Probably another guy. Dang. Good looking as she was, there's no way she wasn't already taken. What kind of guy scored a girl like that? Probably the rich-ass CEO of an IT company or something. Crouching down to tie off the trash bag, he continued gazing wistfully at the girl. Then he noticed something peculiar. She was carrying an attaché case, the kind a businessman might use. It was a large case and apparently so heavy that she was struggling to hold it despite using both hands. Oh, okay. You've reached a decision point. Let's have Achi not approach Hitomi. Use the database to use an option, then press database. First, I gotta dump this trash. He looked around to see if there was a garbage bin nearby. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. Now Achi won't approach Hitomi, which means he will avoid being arrested by Kano. At the same time, Kano's fate will also change. Ooh, this is cool. I like this. And he will no longer end up at a bad end. So let's switch back to Kano's story using the time chart. Press F2 to open it. Okay. This is the time chart. Shows the protagonist's progression through the story. Decision points are marked with a crossroads. Kano's fate has changed based on Achi's actions. Select Kano's 10:30 block and then press space. I suppose you could call it that. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There he is! Kuze's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. Oh god! The man in the black coat! He's not Japanese. Looks to be in his early 30s. Previously, Achi got mixed up with Kano and the police, but now, another man has appeared instead. By changing what Achi did, you've also changed Kano's story. Oh, that's so cool! A foreign man had emerged from the crowd about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He made his way toward her, his expression blank. He's just standing there, menacingly! He didn't match the description Hitomi had given them, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper was using an accomplice to snatch the ransom payment. Alright. Sasayama raised an eyebrow. This may be our guy. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready for action. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Was this the culprit? Or perhaps the stranger took hold of the attaché case. It was him! En masse, the detectives began to close in. Let's go, Kano! On it! Sasayama and Kano leapt into action, but they never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man veered suddenly, running right toward them. Kano's story has suddenly hit a keep out. Keep out refers to a point in the story where your progress is currently stopped. In order to advance beyond a keep out, you need to jump from another protagonist's story. At 10:30, Achi has the text "young man in a suit" set as red keywords. Checking these red keywords will allow you to jump from Achi's story back to Kano's. Now head back to Achi's story and keep an eye out for that key phrase. Okay, let's open up the time chart. Oh, already opened it for me. Okay. Try following the story from Achi at 10:30. Approach the girl. Wait, is... Okay, approach the girl. Oh god, excuse me, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, so now we gotta do the one. What? Oh. Done this trash. Look to see if there's a garbage bin nearby. Huh? A man had come up beside the girl. He was dressed in black, and he wasn't Japanese. He looked like they were it looked like they were having a conversation. The girl nodded tensely at something the man said. Oh, hey! It looks like we can see our friends over there. Also. You're a good boy, Achi. Achi stared. Something tells me that's not her boyfriend. The girl handed the attaché case over to the man. He took hold of it with his right hand and began walking briskly away. Whoa! A nearby homeless man suddenly leapt over Achi and broke into a run, as if he'd been waiting for this very moment. The homeless man is actually Yuji Sasayama, a detective with the Shibuya precinct. Known as the cosplay detective due to the strange outfits he wears while on stakeouts, he's partnered with Shinya Kano for the kidnapping investigation. That's hilarious. Alright, looks like those are the words. Yep, red text denotes some important keywords that let you jump between different protagonists. Stories that allow you to shift between characters at specific points. These would also allow you to clear out and keep out another character's story and let you read on your own. Coming around to my next when it will appear, allowing you to jump from one protagonist to the point. Oh my god. Stupid. Okay. Young man in a suit. Okay, why is it giving fighting game? By performing a jump from this screen, you could advance another protagonist's story past a keep out. Press space to confirm and jump over to Kano's story. Jump. Jump around. Jump, jump, jump around. Jump. Let's go, Kano. Oh, God. Shit. Okay. Oh, it's so cold. Okay. Let's go, Kano. On it. You did it. Jump successful. In 428, you will often need to jump to get past another character's keep out. Jump from red keywords to clear a keep out. Keep this in mind as you advance through the story. Okay, there won't be any more tutorial messages for a while. If you get stuck somewhere, try changing protagonists or making different decisions to advance. Cool. You can now use the time chart in the main menu. From the main menu, you can access gameplay explanations and adjust settings. Press F2 to open the time chart and F1 to open the main menu. Cool. Sasayama and Kano leapt into action, but they never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man suddenly veered, running right toward them. What? He's in RAV4s! Catching sight of the two detectives, the suspect staggered to a halt and bolted off in a new direction. Kano whipped off his costume glasses and followed in hot pursuit. At the crosswalk, the signal changed to red and the flow of foot traffic abruptly halted. Just as quickly, hundreds of cars all lurched back in motion. There was no escape for the culprit now. Or so it appeared. The converging cops slowed their pace, confident their man was cornered. Then, the foreigner barreled straight into the intersection, dodging between the oncoming cars without any hesitation. The mob of detectives came to a halt, not eager to rush to their deaths alongside with them. Kano, however, remained in hot pursuit, charging into the traffic at the crossing. Kano, are you crazy? Come back! Kano heard Sasayama shouting, but his feet kept carrying him onward. With shouts and sirens echoing all around him, Kano closed in on the foreigner. Just a little closer, and he'd be in tackling range. He leaned forward, preparing to pounce, his eyes fixed onto the culprit's feet. It was now or never. Kano, back off! Don't take him down! It was Kuze, shouting through Kano's earpiece. Huh? Kano hesitated in surprise. Had he really just been ordered not to apprehend the criminal? Let him go for now. The real purpose someplace else. Oh? Yeah, we know. What had happened to the plan? He'd been told that all personnel were to secure the area ASAP. Didn't HQ want them to catch the perpetrator? Arrest team, stay on the foreigner's trail. Forensics team, get busy cross-referencing photos. Even if this foreigner was only an underling hired for this one task, the police had now tipped their hand that they'd been lying in wait. If they didn't lock things down now and get more info on the kidnapper, the girl's life might be at stake. Kano recalled another maxim from his dick diary. Dick dictum number 12. Always assume a worst-case scenario. If Kuze had told him to let this guy go, that implied he was counting on the team that was now in position. But if the crook had planned a way to break through the police dragnet and escape with the ransom, and he succeeded, what was the right call here? Should he take this guy down or back off after all? My boss told me to back off. I'm gonna hope that he knows what he's talking about. Kuze's instructions had been clear. Let the other officers chase after the guy. Kano had his own job to do. He broke off his pursuit, pointing the next wave of detectives in the direction the foreigner had fled. Kano had almost gotten close enough to get a good look at the guy's face. But if Kuze had ordered him to let the guy go, well, his boss should know what he was doing. The perp was someone else's problem now. He had just ceased his pursuit when Kuze's panicked voice sounded shrill in his ear. Eep! Someone's taken Hitomi! Oh no! Kano recognized Kuze's trademark squawking immediately. Subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun. He's fleeing in the direction of Meiji Dori. What? Kano could barely believe it. Hitomi had been kidnapped? Had she been abducted by whoever had taken Maria? But why? Someone must have been waiting for the moment when the police took their eyes off of her. Something is very wrong here. What in the world is going on? Kano hurried to search for the man who'd taken Hitomi. If he was heading toward Meiji Dori, there was a good chance he'd gone down one of the alleyways nearby. After darting through the side streets, he spotted a different man, another foreigner, crossing an intersection a few dozen meters ahead. The man was dressed in black, just like the guy who'd grabbed the ransom money. Kuse's right. The kidnapper wasn't acting alone. But wait, something was amiss. Hitomi isn't with him. Where was she? Kano skidded around the corner, then stopped short. Oh, the man in black was standing right there, pointing a gun right at him. Before Kano could react, the man fired. Kano felt hot all over, as if we were on fire. All except for his cheek pressed against the asphalt and the palms of his hands. He felt so cold. There was nothing he could do. Nothing, that is, except lie there and watch as his killer turned and walked away. Yeah, that sounds like a bad end. Shot by a foreigner, eh? By trying to find the man who'd taken Hitomi, Kano ran into a different criminal, and unfortunately for him, he got shot. If the criminal hadn't been able to get near Hitomi, she probably wouldn't have been taken. Have Achi make the choice to talk to Hitomi instead at 10:35. Okay. Alright. Let's jump to our chart. Okay. Okay. Interesting. And then talk to her. Now, what kind of person makes a young lady look around something heavy like that? Achi figured he'd offer to carry it for her. The girl kept shifting her grip. It was clearly a strain for her to keep holding the case, but she didn't set it down. Whatever was inside, it had to be something pretty important. Achi made his way over to her, bristling inwardly at whoever had left her waiting like this. If I were you, I'd bust the head of the punk that's keeping you waiting. Huh? That thing looks heavy. Let me carry it for you. The girl stared back at Achi with wide eyes, but said nothing. Really, I'm happy to help. I'm not going to steal it or anything. His tone was hurried, and he impulsively reached for the attaché case. An instant later, a group of men descended on him from all sides. Whoa, hey, what the hell? For an instant, Achi froze, unable to process just what was happening. He tried to run, but the men shoved him unceremoniously to the ground and held him there. They were shouting about something or other, but he couldn't make out their words. The more he tried to struggle, the harder they held him down. What the hell is this? You can tell us that down at the precinct. A man in a suit knelt alongside him, flashing a police badge. Wonder if it's Kano. What? You're arresting me? Oh. The heck did I even do? Instead of answering, they shoved Achi into the back seat of a patrol car. He gazed dejectedly out the window. He could still see the girl. She didn't have the case anymore. Now she was talking to a man with a cane. Was he the person she was waiting for? Ooh, a man with a cane. Interesting. A moment later, the car turned the corner and the two of them slipped out of view. Achi slumped back in his seat, sulking and silent. Several hours passed. After a bunch of pointless questioning, the police finally determined he was innocent, and his father came to pick him up. For a long while, Achi just stared intently out the window of the car. Finally, his father caught his attention. The old man seemed to be in a surprisingly good mood despite having to collect his son from the jailhouse. Achi, there's something I want to talk to you about. If it's about me taking over the shop, now is not the time, okay? No, it's not that. Look, let's just get home first. Sure, don't feel like going out today anyway. But now I'm curious. What do you want to talk about? I got some good news. I think you'll be pleased. I'm not sure I like the sound of that. Please don't tell me you're getting remarried or something. Dad, I really don't like the sound of that. And so began a very long conversation. Weird. What? What? Achi was just trying to be nice, but when he tried to take the attaché case, he walked right into the middle of a police stakeout. His heart was in the right place, but the timing was a bit off. Maybe he should have finished dealing with the garbage first and watched how the situation played out. Go back to Achi's 10:30 and try making a different decision. Okay. Sorry, my throat's starting to hurt, so I'm like kind of letting it go. Okay, we saw all this. First one, and another. A third, a fourth, a fifth. Over a dozen now. What the heck? Clearly, something big was going down. Were they after the attaché case? Within moments, Achi lost sight of them all through the crowd. With that many people chasing him, the guy with the case was sure to get caught. But wait, what about that girl? Achi turned back around. The girl was still there. She was staring in the direction that the man who'd taken the case had gone, a worried expression on her face. Oh, okay. I like option A. Achi couldn't shake the feeling that something was very wrong. Maybe he should go talk to her and ask what was going on. But just as he was making up his mind, a middle-aged man in a ratty business suit shuffled awkwardly over to her first. Was there something wrong with one of his legs? He was using a cane to walk. Then, one of his hands slipped into his jacket pocket. Achi could scarcely believe his eyes. Gun? A revolver. Suddenly, a young man came running through the crowd. Seeing him, the man with the cane turned on his heel and vanished in the scramble. Something big was going down. What is all this? The young man was closing in on the girl, his expression grim. That guy's up to no good. Achi sprang into motion. Hee-yah! Leaping high, Achi delivered a flying kick right between the man's shoulder blades. Damn! The guy went down but recovered surprisingly fast, spinning back to his feet to grapple with Achi. What the hell is your problem? What the hell is your problem, man? Achi snapped. The two stood staring at each other as the crowd swirled around them. Let go of me. You let go of me first. After you let go of me, sure. You first, pal. I'm not your pal, buddy. I'm not your buddy, friend. I'm not your friend, pal. Don't you call me pal, man. Don't call me man, pal. Neither man was willing to yield. Oh, so dumb. So dumb. The entire... Owie. The crowd had parted to avoid the scuffle. Passers-by were staring from all sides. Well, crap. Achi got a sudden sinking feeling. What the hell am I even doing? Jumped in over my head as usual. His anger melted away. He loosened his grip. Without further judgment or further argument, the other man let go of Achi's jacket. Turning quickly away, the stranger hurried over to the statue of Hachiko, where he dropped to his knees dejected. The girl who'd been standing there was nowhere to be seen. Maybe this was the guy she'd been waiting on. The guy was clearly upset that she was missing. Achi felt kind of bad for him. Oh my goodness. My throat is dying. Owie. My throat is so scratchy. He decided it would be wise to leave while the guy's attention was elsewhere. Whew! He hurried back along the road to his house. The wind had gone out of his sails and he didn't feel much like cleaning up trash anymore. Ah, well, guess I'll read some manga and go to bed. Better play it safe before the day got any worse. Oops. Achi's interference with the young man, it was Kano, disrupted the detective's sting. If Achi hadn't acted on impulse when he saw Kano heading for Hitomi, things might have gone differently. But how can you make sure Kano doesn't return to the scramble and startle Achi? The key lies further along in Kano's story. Okay. We are actually going to call it here because my throat is literally scratching every time I talk. And I don't think that's very fun for streaming with. So, yeah. Thanks for hanging out with me. And I'll upload the VOD to YouTube shortly. Thanks for being here and dealing with my tech issues. Okay, bye.